Good afternoon, children. Today we are going to teach lesson for 10th class. The chapter name is Power Sharing. Chapter name is Power Sharing. This is the part under the one of the subjects Democratic Politics 2, 10th class. Power sharing. It is very easiest to understand the literal meaning of power sharing. Sharing of powers or distribution of powers. No doubt. This is very essential for the nations or countries of the democratic form of the government. Those who are following, those who are practicing democratic form of the government. That's why the most of the nations, they are chosen to practice, to establish democratic form of the government. Earlier, we also learned in the 9th class also, so many case studies we observed in the democratic politics part 1. What is the necessity of democratic form of the government? Why the most of the nations established the democratic form of the government? How, for example, our India also established the democratic and chosen the democratic form of the government. After establishment of democratic form of the government, the powers distribution, because we are adopted in the preamble of the Indian Constitution also, the democratic form of the government, democratic and republic. Democracy is nothing but people's ruling. All the powers in the hands of the people. If the powers are not vested in the people's hand, what will happen? What would be the reason? What would be the next the result? If the powers are vested or centralized in one hand, that's simply what we call the monarchical form of the government, dictatorship. That's why most of the nations, once the powers are vested in the one hand, how they support the people, support in that particular country, we have been observed the many nations of the world, many case studies. That's why most of the nations, they wanted to establish democratic form of the government. Why? Because all the powers are distributed, all the powers are decentralized among the people. So now the power is in the hands of the people. That is what we call the democracy. Now in this lesson, simply or briefly, we can note it down some important points for the examination point of view. And you should know, being a citizen of India, because we are all following democratic form of the government. So my topic is power sharing. Listen carefully. My topic is power sharing, democratic politics part 2, 10th class. And this power sharing lesson, already you know the sharing of powers, literal meaning. Powers among the different levels, among the organs, at various levels also. And before going to that, after getting independence in 1947 India, we constituted one large constitution and a rigid constitution, Indian constitution, that is. In that case, in that constitution, we framed some features how our India would be. What are the features of the Indian constitution? You know pretty well. The one is the federal form of the government. Second one is parliamentary form of the government. Third one is secularism. Fourth one is fundamental rights. These are all around 6 features are there constituted in the Indian constitution. Apart from that, we are federal form of the government. This is the one of the feature of the Indian constitution. Just go ahead. The power sharing, the different distribution of powers at different levels among the various organs. Now, before going to the classification of power sharing, what is necessity? Why should we have the power sharing? If not there, what would be the reason? What would be the next further action will be there? So the power sharing, the necessity of power sharing is very essential for the nations who are practicing the democratic form of the government, no doubt. In what way it is necessary? Yes, if we are practicing the power sharing among the different organs, among the different levels, then we can reduce the possibility of conflicts or disputes or tensions among the social groups, because India is a multifaceted country. Many regions are there, many languages are there, many states are there, many cultures, traditions, customs, all are there. That's why it is a multifaceted country indeed. That's why we should have such type of system. So that's why when we have the power sharing, it reduces possibility of conflicts, tensions, disputes, queries, and moreover, it also enhances the stability of political order, the balancing the powers, political order. And moreover, next one is it uses the authority in a fair manner. Transparency is there. There is no misuse of powers. And moreover, if we have the power sharing, such type of system, it helps in integration of the nation. That is the ultimate goal of the country, those who are having or practicing democratic form of the government. So now then these are the desirability or essentiality of the power sharing in India. This is a very important question also for the examination point of view. Note it down. The desirability of power sharing is very essential for the 3 marks question. Now coming to the point, before going to enter into the lesson, there are 2 case studies are there in your textbook, no doubt. One case study is regarding Sri Lanka. What happened? This is the real case study. What happened in Sri Lanka? The second case study is Belgium. What happened in Belgium? What type of governments they formed. But thing is that you remember one thing, these 2 nations are built, I mean to say form the government or establish the government on the basis of linguistic based or language based. Majority of the people who speaks the language, majoritarianism. In the Sri Lankan case, it is a mixture of some people. Some people are in a country, many languages are there, many people are they are going to interested to speak in many languages. In the same way, in the Sri Lanka also, Sinhala speaking people, you see, Sinhala speaking people and Tamil speaking people and Sri Lankan Tamils speaking people. Again, Tamil speaking people categorized into 2 categories. One is Sri Lankan Tamils, second one is Indian Tamils. Now, among these people, the most of these peoples, they are interested to speak in Sinhala language. That's why it is also make it as a official language. And moreover, the government also formed on the basis of the Sinhala government. And moreover, they are also mostly giving job opportunities, educational opportunities, and major rank posts also given to the people who belongs to and who speaks the Sinhala language. They are 64% in Sri Lanka. The next category, Tamil, exclusively Tamil speaking people are 18% people are there in Sri Lanka. Again, only Tamils, exclusively those who are residing in Tamils, again category into 2 ways. One is Sinhala Sri Lankan Tamils and second one is Indian Tamils, those who are migrated from Indian Tamils from India. There are 13% Sri Lankan Tamils, 5% Indian Tamils. That's why this case study happened. This is the case study happened in the Sri Lankan country. And this is the case study, best example for the linguistic based power sharing. Later on it is named as Sinhala majoritarianism or Sri Lankan majoritarianism. Sri Lankan majoritarianism, because the most of the Sri Lankans, they are speaking in Sinhala language, and they also adopted or enacted one law also 1956, the linguistic based resolution also passed in the Parliament of Sri Lanka, 1956 Act. So this is the case. Thus a major role is the Sinhala government formed in Sri Lanka. On what basis? On the basis of language, majority of the language speaking, Sinhala language. Now coming to the point, next one is the Belgium is also in the same way. They are also speaking Belgium, Dutch speaking and French speaking and German speaking. Dutch speaking 59%, French speaking 40%, German speaking 1%, very less percentage. And moreover, Dutch speaking is the more, and that's why they also established Belgium model. Why? Because here, like India also, what is the federal form of the government in India? There are 3 levels. One is central government or union government. Second one is state government, state level. Third one is local government or Panchayati Raj. 3 levels. So we have these 3 levels of government. The same way in Belgium also, central government and state government, and the last one is community government. This is just variety, community government. What is community government? So apart from the central government, state government, third level is community government. This is the another form of government on the basis of on their wishes and needs of the particular community or particular social group. Now, other way, this is 2 case studies. After that, when coming to the India consent, we have broadly 4 types of power sharing. One is, already I told you, vertical power sharing, horizontal power sharing, and third one is prudential power sharing and moral power sharing. These are the 4 types. Horizontal power sharing. You see the horizontal line. These are the horizontal power sharing. Horizontal power sharing. What is horizontal power sharing? There are the 3 main organs. This is the organs. What are the 3 main organs? Already you learned in 8th class also. 3 organs of the government. One is legislative, and third one is executive, and fourth one is judiciary. This is also called as watchdog of the Indian Constitution. Judiciary, most important organ of the government. And what is the main function of the legislative? And making laws is the main function of legislative body. Or 3 bodies, or 3 organs, or 3 agencies. Next, whereas executive body, this making laws is over. Next one is executive body. What is the main function of the executive body? And implementation of laws. And third one is giving justification. Balance, checks and balance. Judiciary is called, Indian judiciary is called as checks and balance. Why? Because balancing the powers between the legislative, executive, and it reduces the possibility of conflicts on powers. So balancing the powers among these 2, between these 2 organs, major organs, legislative body and executive body. Next one is vertical power sharing. already told you, as we said in earlier, and equals also federal form of the government, vertical power sharing. Some powers are reserved, some powers are vested in the hands of the central government. Some powers are vested to state government. Some powers are vested to local self-government bodies or Panchayat Raj. So three-tier system is also there in India. Like whereas in Belgium, three-tier system also there, but here community government is there. That's why the Belgian government is also known as Belgium model. Okay. Next one is checks and balance, power sharing, and this is the broad idea about the power sharing. And tomorrow we will discuss about the examination point of view, and I will use some what you call the questionnaire and bit bank to you and provide material to you afterwards. And tomorrow we will discuss in deep and what are the differences between the horizontal power sharing and vertical power sharing, and how these two are working and functioning in the India, and whether it is successfully managing things, facts in properly, or successfully managing the orders as per the in accordance with the Indian Constitution. Later tomorrow onwards we will discuss these things. Okay, thank you.